It's November, and by this time, hopefully your students have already completed their college applications, but unfortunately, they're probably getting that first taste of senior-itis. Our November tip of the month is 5 things to remember after your students have completed their college applications. My name is Tori, and I'm a state outreach counselor for Get2College. Although your students have completed their college application, that doesn't mean the process is over with. Here are 5 tips and things to remember to do after your college application has been submitted. Tip number 1, each college, university, and community college has a different scholarship deadline. Be sure that your student understands where one school might have a scholarship deadline of December 1st, another may be February 1st or March 1st. We don't want your students to just be smooth sailing and forget that maybe they have a deadline coming up. So encourage them to sign up for the ACT and remember that each school is different. Tip number 2, if you haven't already done this, plan a FAFSA day. It's time for your students to complete their FAFSA and Mississippi Aid application. This application is the gateway for financial aid for your students, so if they haven't already done it, encourage them that now's the time to start applying for financial aid. Tip number 3, now that they've applied to the college, it's time to consider applying for housing. Some schools have priority housing deadlines, so it's important that your student know when they can apply for housing and get in a dorm room if their plan is to live on campus. Tip number 4. All right, we understand that many of your students have completed their applications, have applied for institutional scholarships, but a lot of times there's opportunities for scholarships outside of the university or the school that they're attending, okay? So it's time to consider applying for those outside scholarships. To do that, your tip number 4 is beef up their resume, write an essay, and then consider their references that they would use for those scholarships. A lot of community-based organizations, churches, local businesses, or companies have scholarships out there for seniors in high school. So be sure that the student is ready with an updated resume, an essay if it's prompted, and then letters of reference for that specific scholarship. And lastly, tip number 5, it's time for your students to start making campus visits. These visits we believe are important because it lets them see, can I picture myself on this campus? Is this exactly where I want to be? So encourage them to use those excused absences and make those campus visits throughout the next few months. We promise if they stick to these 5 tips, the only thing they're going to be worried about by May is what they're going to wear to graduation. For more tips and resources, visit our website at get2college.org and stay on top of all things Get2College by visiting us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. I'm Tori, and this has been your Get2College Tip of the Month.